What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, PAL world domination continues. The PALs are really pally. They pallying around, and they're killing it. For lack of a better term, no, there's better terms, but yeah, not using them. So, as I have heard, I haven't looked up the last numbers on Steam, but they have sold over 6 million. Now, I don't know if I think, did I say 4 million before or 2? I know it's, but anyway, and the concurrent players were they're closing in on 2 million. I think I had mentioned that they had overtaken Counter-Strike. So, but anyway, whatever. There's a whole drama going on behind the scenes with that game, as far as like devs, and I don't know if it was I forget what studio it was. Was it Naughty Dog devs, or somebody was kind of salty about it, and somebody has bass somewhere. I hear it, but I don't see it. But anyway, yeah, and I'm like, why is I think IGN gave it an 8 out of 10 or something. And I was like, okay, sure. And people are like, well, if it was on PlayStation, it would have got a 9 out of 10 or something. I was like, maybe. But, you know, I mean, look, Xbox tax is just another way of saying just there's a biased pro Sony against Xbox, you know, whatever. I don't have to explain it. And it's just it is there. That's what it is. The fact that PAL World is so successful, and was it been 5 days already? They've destroyed like all these little games that come out on PlayStation or whatever. Even though, I mean, the game's like $27 or whatever, so there's that. Also on Game Pass, but we're talking about sales, not so much the players. I think it was over 6 million, but as far as how many sales, wait, I'm conflating the numbers now. Anyway, I think I said all of this yesterday. My bad. But what I actually wanted to talk about today was, I heard the discussion about, it was just like a quick little blurb about the customers or gamers won't accept the digital gaming future. I think that the digital is coming. It's here. There's no stopping it, right? But what it is physical copies are only good for one main thing, and that is collecting. Now, some people say, oh, but I want to buy it, and then I want to sell it back, get some money, and then I can go buy something else. Yeah, you can do that. I mean, how many people do that? Not that many. That's why digital is so hot, you know? It's an inevitability. You look at music, you know, MP3s. Everybody's got Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever else. Tidal. Nobody has Tidal. And there's, you know, Netflix, Disney, but we've had this discussion already. This discussion has been had a million times. But why are gamers so caught up on physical copies? Now, I'm a collector. I like physical copies. So there's a happy medium, all right? And I believe the vinyl industry has found it. They have started releasing vinyls of kind of popular music from all time, basically. I saw a physical copy of Purple Rain LP in I think it was Target or Walmart. It might have been Walmart, because Walmart has LPs. I think Target has them too. And I mean, there's not a large selection, and you could probably get them online. You could most definitely get them online. But the point is that the physical media will become a niche and boutique segment of all sales. That's just the nature of media, you know. I mean, you look at all the future like shows and stuff, right? Are they carrying around like their whole, you know, freaking collection of data points or music or whatever? No. They have a little cube thing, and they go beep, boop, boop, and then a hologram pops up and says, hey, blah, 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 you know? So just like your phone. Do you have to put a cartridge in your phone? Do you have to put a CD in your phone to listen to music? Do you have to put a tape in your phone to listen to music? No, you don't. It's all digital. And I mean, that's the first indication. Everybody has a phone, right? who's putting physical media into your phone? Nobody's doing that. So that's it. And that translates to video games. And that's why Walmart is taking out all these games. I mean, they say starting with Xbox because I guess they don't sell that most or whatever. And, that's because, popularity and all that stuff. And also, Xbox players have shifted over to digital more so or faster than PlayStation players because of Game Pass. Let me explain. So when you got Game Pass, you're like, yo, I got Game Pass, I got all these games, and you get one game, and you start playing one game, you're like, yo, I like this game a lot, right? And so what do? You say, I'm gonna buy it. Why do you buy it? Why do you buy it digitally? Because you get a discount. You get the Game Pass discount. You get the GPD. I think it's from 10 to 20%. I don't actually remember what the percentage is, but you get a discount. And so I'm like, all right, And if it's really a game that I want to collect, like I'm looking for a physical copy of Starfield. I'm probably gonna buy that because I got the controller that I haven't opened yet. I don't have the headphones. I don't know if I'm gonna get the headphones. I might, and I'll get the game. I'm already playing the game. I already went through one cycle of the game for the most part. I just have to go through the Unity part, which I did, and I already told the story where it crashed and messed up my save. I had to go back. But, yeah, I'll get that, throw it up on the shelf, so I can be like, all right, cool. Go through all my other games. Like the last physical game that I actually bought was Sea of Thieves. And before that was, I think it was Red Dead or The Witcher 3, I can't remember. It's been a while, it's been a minute. So, as a collector, I'm only going to collect the most important things, the most important games that I feel. I don't get the statues or anything like that. Sometimes I'll get a steelbook. It depends, though. Like, if I was going to do the Cyberpunk, I would get the Super Edition, maybe. Or was it Cyberpunk? Yeah, it was Cyberpunk because The Witcher 3, I got the physical copy, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I got like anything extra or like the super duper version, but it came with a map, it came with all this like stickers, I think it had stickers. I was like, yo, this is how you put stuff in the box, but those days are gone, so whatever. That's just the old collector in me. But it's kind of good to have a little bit of physical stuff because you think about it, right? Arcades came, you look at the side of the arcade, you get the art, you get the stickers. You're like, oh, that's cool. That'd be cool if I had a sticker of that. I could put on something. Or if I want to build an arcade myself, what do I have to do? I have to go to a printing company and say, here's the file. Please print this out for me. This is the side. You got to do extra work. And maybe you just want to have stickers from your favorite game. I still have the stickers from Dragon Force. Dragon Force? I think it's Dragon Force. It's for the Saturn, where you're fighting and it's all little sprites and like and they go back and forth. I still got the sticker for that, and I was like, I don't ever want to use the sticker because it's like kind of cool, but I'm not like a super duper Dragon Force fanboy or anything. It's a very cool game, but at the same time, I'm like, I didn't put it on anything. I mean, maybe when I make my arcade game, I'll find all the stickers that I have and all of my collections and I'll stick them all on there. So I don't know, but having some physical stuff is cool. But like I say, it's a niche market. It's becoming a niche market. It's probably already a niche market, and they should treat it as such. Like Microsoft shouldn't be like, okay, there's gonna be no physical copies of Hellblade 2. They should say there's going to be a limited run of physical copies of Hellblade so that all the collectors, like say, I don't know, say 25,000 run, 25,000 or 50,000, right? And then all the collectors will be like, yo, gotta get that. I want that. I want Hellblade collectors. And it could be a collector's edition. It could have some extra stuff to sweeten the pot. And it could be more than $70 or whatever. Make it 80, make it 90, make it $100 or whatever. I think it would sell out. And that way they can know how much they need to put into this edition. They can know what their margins are, and they could price it accordingly, obviously. And, still feed that part of the market that still wants physical stuff, And I think the collector's edition is it. And one thing I do have a problem with these companies, not Nintendo because they don't, whatever, but Sony and Microsoft, is that they're putting codes in these collector's edition. You get the 18 inches of Venom. You don't get a disc. I'm like, oh, hold up. I'm spending all this money. You can't even give me a burned disc. You can't even do that. It doesn't even have to be in the regular box. Just put it in somewhere, put it in a little envelope-y sleeve, and throw it in there. That's all. I just want the disc. You know? That what does that cost you? $2? If that? 50 cents? And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, look, I mean, I know you want to try to cut every penny, but a collector's edition that's costing $200, $100, whatever, should have the actual physical disc in there, not a code. And that's where I have a problem with these collector's editions that don't have the actual disc in it. That's some BS. That's some BS. But, you know, other than that, if they correct that, they put the physical disc in it with little extra here and there, or just do a limited run of the regular edition or whatever, that's what they need to do. Just shrink it down, and you know, you look at the numbers and you say, okay, if we're gonna put out, I mean, it's percentages, so it's hard to. I'll agree that it is hard to predict what there will sell in a game like Power World. If Power World was a physical disc, how many would they have sold? You know, how many do they need to make? So there's all kind of, I mean, that would be cool because you could have cards and stuff. You know what, Power World would probably be the best thing for like amiibo type thing, that Toys to Life stuff. But, you know, whatever. I'm just rambling because I didn't feel like talking about Power World that much. But I definitely want to talk about kind of the changes in the industry, whether it is like game engines, because you know, and digital and physical copies, but like going to game engines, we're like Patasaur, that's the studio that I'm a part of, and we're switching engines. We were on a 2D engine before, because our game is technically 2D, but we tricked it to make it look like it was 3D. It's weird. It was my idea too. I was trying to like, yo, maybe we should try to make it like 3D, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, and then he tried it, and he's like, wow, this is kind of cool, and he kept doing it. So I was like, yes, we got it. And it's cool, but it's a lot of work. Tricking the engine, and it's libgx, I believe is the engine's name. It's a Java-based engine. Anyway, so we're going to migrate to Godot, or Godot, however you say it. And Rafa's our programmer, our code master, our code wizard. He showed me some of the stuff that he's been messing with because he's teaching class on it basically. And so he's like, yeah, look at this stuff. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. Wow. And then I'm like, well, I mean, this is basically just as powerful as Unity. Unity is just more popular. And the stuff that went down with Unity, with John Riccatello and all that stuff, we were like, nah, we're good. And we were gonna use Unity because he was teaching, he knew Unity. So but we were like, no, we can't do that because they're tripping, and they're probably gonna trip again later or something. So we're like, all right, cool. So we're using Godot, and I'm like, wow, this is freaking, it's so exciting to have kind of like different powers. Just like, what? But it's different. You have different tools and stuff to use. And the 3D engine is really cool. The lighting was really good. I was like, man. And it was just like a demo that he just like had a little character running around in like a little dungeon and stuff. I was like, yeah, this is kind of nice. And I can't wait for our artist and storyteller to put his magic on that, man. Shoot. Anyway, I'm sorry, tangent. But let me know in the comments below. I was gonna talk about Avowed too, but I don't think I need to talk about that yet. That's the closest game coming out for Xbox is Hellblade, so maybe I'll get into that next video. Just because that's in May. That's at the end of May, so it's coming up. You know, we still got a little bit of time, but you know, it's all good. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think. Physical, are y'all the physical collecting type? Do you want to preserve that? Do you think my idea is I mean, anything's doable, but do you think it's a good idea to have, I mean, to recognize it's a shrinking market, shrink it, and keep it as more of a collector's thing by the first party, not so much like, what was they called? First run games or whatever they call. They actually make physical copies of games that don't have physical copies. That's a whole nother thing. But, you know, at least there are companies like that, right? So you say, oh, I want a physical copy of Hellblade 2. You could go and call them up, like, yo, whoop, whoop. And they're like, all right, cool. We'll put it on disc. We'll put it on a Nintendo Switch cartridge. Put it on a DS cartridge. You know, so we'll put it on a PlayStation cartridge just so you can't play. How would that work? They just burn it on a Blu-ray and then put some PlayStation plastic paint stuff on the front. But it'll still be the Xbox version because there is no PlayStation version. Anyway, yeah, it's, you know, there's different. I mean, there's different takes. There's different kind of, I guess, solutions to the situation. I wouldn't call it a problem. It is more of a situation and just an evolution of the market, evolution of the video games industry. And I don't see it as a detriment, but I do hope that it doesn't completely go away. I mean, you think about it, like arcade games, right? You know, when I was growing up, we would go to arcade, we would go to Nathan's, we would go to Adventures, we would hop on the bikes. It was like E.T. hopping on the bikes. It was different because we were driving next to the highway. Hop on the bikes, and we didn't have an alien flying in the moon. We hop on the bikes, and we go to Nathan's. Nathan's was better than Adventures, but Adventures was closer. So, you know, we'd be like, do we feel like driving? Do we feel like riding our bikes all the way to Central Ave? That's a ride. That's like, you know, how long did it take us? It might have been a 45-minute bike ride. Dude, we were crazy kids. Like Adventures was like 15 minutes, easy, just right there. Anyway, if you think about arcades from back in the 80s, right, when they really started getting good, and then you think about the not arcade scene, but the market for, let's just say, home arcades. You got Arcade 1UP, right? Which is not the best. You know, the emulation is okay, but, you know, at least they are giving us a product that is an approximation of an arcade cabinet. It's smaller, yes, I think it's 3/4 size, and it has the little riser, which looks dumb, you know, but I'm an arcade purist, so I'm like, but at the same time, I'm also like, arcades are big, giant, super heavy, super fragile for the most part, and they're not practical in a regular house. If you got a mansion with all this, if you have a game room, then sure, get all arcades, make an arcade. But my thing is like, I wanna, like if Sega did this, right? If Sega said, yo, we wanna release our arcade games to the public in the form of a little, like the arcade, not the arcade 1UP, but the, like the Pandora boxes, right? They have 100 million billion games. But if Sega said, yo, we're gonna make a little box, here's Afterburner, here's Afterburner 2, here's Afterburner, Afterburner 2, there you go. Even if they did that with just like all the stick games, like it's a Super Thunderblade, Galaxy Force 2, Afterburner, Afterburner 2. The difference is Afterburner was in Japan, Afterburner 2 was the American version, I believe. And I think the stages were a little different. Anyway, and maybe throw in Afterburner Climax just for poops and plops, right? You do that, I'm buying it. I'm buying it straight. Then they do an Outrun with all wheels, all wheel games. Power Drift, Outrun, Turbo Outrun, Outrunners, which is I didn't like that one too much. Radmobile, freaking, I said Power Drift already. I mean, you can go into the later stuff like Daytona and Rally. If you want to just have the complete collection, I'm buying that too. That's all that they have to do. But they're so stuck on Genesis. And I'm like, I understand Genesis was successful for Sega. I have two Genesises. I have two Genesi. And I got the At Games Genesis, and I was like, I gotta see how bad this is. Oh my God, it's so bad. That is the worst thing. What I want to do is take the guts out of that and put something that's better in, that's an actual Genesis or something, or like a small one, and then have a better one. And maybe scratch off the At Games on the top because I'm so embarrassed. But anyway, tangent. But stuff like that could not invigorate, but help keep that market alive. And it's nostalgia, and it's history, and it's preservation. And if the companies themselves, Sega themselves did it, you know, they have their own ROMs and they say, yo, this is from Sega, I bet you a whole bunch of people would buy them. Even if you say, oh, I'm gonna buy it and make an arcade. I mean, look, I would believe that that's the same as buying the actual arcade cabinet, right? But then that would affect the prices. So you say, okay, well, if you're gonna buy it as an arcade and charge people money or whatever, or put it in your business to keep getting people in, you're gonna make money off our game, blah, 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 then we gotta charge a lot of money. But that's not what I want. I want the consumer version. They could actually make an arcade cabinet with all of that stuff and sell it for $1,000 or whatever, right? And then sell me the little box. Yeah. What would it cost? 50, give 50, you know what? I'll pay $70. I'll pay $69.99, the price of a regular game that usually costs upwards to $300, $400 million. Your games are already made. It's not, maybe it might cost that high. It's not gonna cost $400 million to R&D a little plastic box for emulation by Sega. I don't think so. Anyway, sorry for the super tangent, Sega. But yeah, let me know in the comments below the whole super tangent of the arcade stuff and all that stuff and everything else. And once again, I appreciate y'all hanging on like a dumbass. Like, subscribe. And I got y'all in the next one. Took the wait.